So, day 3 of your RHC training. So, in the previous classes, we had learned how to do the installation part. We had learned how to take help. Now, before we proceed further into creating files and folders, I think it's very important that we should understand the file system hierarchy, or we call it the FHS. So, number one thing that you should remember is that everything in Linux is a file. Linux stores everything as file and they're in plain text file. And Linux is space sensitive and case sensitive. And the file system, the picture that you're seeing here is a kind of a upside down tree. You see their root is at the top. Root is at the top, and these are some of the important directories that you should be understanding before we proceed further. So the root is the topmost one, and then under the root, let me start from here, the bin. So bin is your binaries. Bin is the binaries. So all your important executables, normal executables, you can see there commands like cat command, change group, chmod, chown, basic user commands are stored under the bin. Then you've got the boot. Here it is, the boot. So boot will be storing the static files which are required for the bootloader, like your kernel will be there, and files like your init.rd will be there, the grub files will be there, configuration files. So anything which is related to your booting of the machine. The boot contains the static files which are required to boot the machines, like kernel, and essentially which are needed to boot the machine. Please do not remove boot directory. You won't be able to start the machine then. etc, people call it etc, it's actually pronounced as etc. So etc will be storing all your configuration files, whether you are configuring a DNS server or a web server, or any configuration files will be getting stored under etc. You will see couple of files here like etc exports. Fs tab will be containing your file system table, host.allow, host.deny, init tab, though we don't use init tab right now, but these are the major directories. So etc will be containing all your configuration files, and inside etc we have got opt or the opt for additional applications. usr will be needed, or shareable data, whatever you intend. So the files which can be shared across multiple machines. So USR directory will be containing all the files that can be shared across multiple machines. So USR is normally, at the time of the installation, we normally mount it as a separate partition, and it is read only. So these are the files which can be shareable across multiple machines. Where, as the name says, it's variable files, variable data, the data which can change or which will change. So where is again like your USR. I'll just give you like one simple example here. Like your file system hierarchy, or like FHS, it requires the Linux to mount USR as read only, because any program file that writes on the log file, they need a separate pool or the lock. So where will be normally containing your variable data files, like your log files you can see there. Then your some temporary files, the files that you download will be storing under the var, your emails, your logs. So these things will be going under the var, log files and all the things. And if you remember, I had told you that application servers like FTP and web server will also be using the var www will be used by Apache, and where FTP will be used by your FTP server. Sbin, system admin binaries, very dangerous location, or I can say very important locations. So Sbin stores the executables or the binaries which will be executed only by the user root. So sbin are used only at the boot time and might be used for the system recovery options. So sbin contains essential binaries for those are required for booting, restoring, recovering or repairing your file systems. In addition, there might be some applications in the bin, but sbin is very important. Now what next? Next is we've got some files like temp. You can see there the temporary files will be stored under temp. Your dev, your devices will be stored here, the devices files. Home will obviously be for the user home directories. Library files and the kernel will be stored under the lib. So lib directory should contain only those files those are needed to execute the binaries like bin and sbin. So any library files which are required by the bin and sbin, they are stored at a shared location, which is the lib. Home, as you know, is the home directories where the users will be storing their home directories, is the home. So any user that you will be creating will be having its home directory under /home. MNT is normally used for mounting some temporary file systems. OPT like additional application files. Dev is your devices files, and the root is the /root is the home directory for the user root. So at least you should be knowing about these important locations. So once we understood this, now we can go and try to create some files and folders and then see how to navigate in between them. Just 1 minute of break and then just repeat, try to remember all these things in your mind, and then we'll be starting with the basic commands like how to create the file using the cat command, how cat can be used to create the file, append a file, how to do a copy, move, some basic stuffs that we'll be doing just now. Let's start doing it. Okay, so let's now start with creating files, folders and navigating between them. It's the same machine that we are using in our virtual training. So number one command is that you are logged in with what account. So you can use a who am I command. I think I had already shared with you. That will give you your username. Then the next command which you should be knowing is that where exactly are you, in which folder or in which directory you are. There's a very simple command pwd, print working directory, or you can call it present working directory. You can use the pwd command to see your current location where you are currently. So I am in my home directory. If you as a user are in your home directory, that will automatically be represented by this sign tilde. So if you are seeing tilde symbol in your prompt, that means you are already in your home directory. Good, very good. Now let me see how many files are here. I'm just using Control L to clear the screen. ls-l long list. So what information it gives me? Let's see it. And you should actually try to have a lazy approach. If I give ll, it's the same command, it's the same output, sorry. So I am getting the same output by pressing 2 keystrokes, where here I have to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keystrokes. So which will be easier? Obviously ll. So is ll a command? No, not at all. ll is not a command, it's an alias. Alias is a kind of a shortcut that you had assigned to a long command which you use frequently. So if you see here, ll, when I give ll, it actually executes ls-l. So why not use ll? So ll will gives you the long listing of the files in your current directory. So what information it shows? Let's just go through it. First is the permission block. So if you see a hyphen there, that means it's a simple file or a normal file. If you see a D here, that means it's a directory. If you see a L here, which you are not seeing it right now, that means it's a link file. Then the first R stand for read, W stand for write, X stand for execute. So the first block is for the permissions for the owner. Who is the owner? The first name. He is the owner who has created the file or the folder or the resource. The second three characters are the permissions for the group. Who is the group? Currently root is the group, same person. And the third three character block is for others. Other means the guy who is not the owner nor in the group. And the dot here means that SE Linux is in enforcing mode, security enhanced Linux. Then comes the size, the timestamp, and the name. So this information is available to you via the LL command. So LL, and I'll repeat again, LL is not a command, it's an alias. You can also create your own alias. I'll just give you one simple example. For clearing the screen, I have got a clear command that will clear the screen. We don't have a CLS command like in Windows. But in case you want to create an alias for the CLS, so you can do a CLS is equal to clear. So now if I give an alias and show you, you can see there that the CLS alias is created. So in future, right now, if I give the CLS command, it's going to execute the clear command, which is on the right hand side of the equal to, like this. But it's not permanent, it's temporary. As soon as you log off, see here, if I do an exit here, I come back to Alok, I do a switch user again, I will lose that alias. That's gone, that CLS is gone. I cannot see CLS alias here. I will explain you how to make it permanent, but not right now. But yes, for temporary executing some long command with a shortcut, you can create aliases. Right, so I can see the files here. How can I view a file? I want to see what is in this. I want to read the content. So you've got a very beautiful command, cat. Cat stands for concatenation. If I give a cat -- help, you are already comfortable with this. So it shows you the options which are available with the cat command. Fair enough? So I'll just give a cat and anaconda-ks.cfg. So cat here will show the contents. And remember one more thing, guys. Anything you start with hash will not be executed by the machine. It will be treated as a command. So my command will be till here. My machine is not going to execute this. It's just merely for your reference or for my reference. So if I give cat and the file name anaconda-ks.cfg, it shows me the contents. But the issue is that I have to use mouse to scroll up and scroll down. See here, this is the command. I don't want this. I want that it should stop after a page. So you can use pipes, or we call it terminal pagers. So instead of this, use the terminal pager more. So more is a terminal pager. If I press enter here, you will see now it's being stopped. After one page, you can see a more coming up here. I can read it at my pace, and any point of time I want to go down, I can press space bar, next page, next page. But the problem with the more is that once you have done the next page, you cannot go upwards. I cannot use up arrow key and page up and page down. I cannot do that. Oh my god. What next? Then another terminal pager is less. So less is more. I say less is more, as less has got more features than more. So if I do the same command here again, you will see it's being replaced by a colon, and I can use my down arrow key, up arrow key to navigate. It's more comfortable, and you can search for a particular word by pressing word slash. Say I intend to search for the word first, slash first. So it search for the word first, and N is for the next occurrence. And any point of time you can press Q to quit. So it's how you read the files. That's great. How can I create my own file? Simple. Cat output redirection. This is a greater than symbol. It's like a kind of a crocodile. And say any name. Say test file.txt. So that means whatever I will type, get the output stored in this file. And any point of time you can save by pressing Control D. I write here, this is our first file created using the cat command. Cat stands for concatenation. Control D. That's all. So if I do a LL here, you will see my file is here, and I can use the cat space to view the content. So it's how you can create the file using the cat. But there is a small issue with the cat, that you cannot edit it. You can append, but you cannot edit. So if I give the same command, it will overwrite the file. See, so my intention was that I will be editing the file. Some new lines will be added, but it will be overwritten. Cat cannot be used for editing the files. So if I do a cat and the file name, see the original contents, this is our first file, is gone. It's being overwritten. So I cannot use it for editing, but yes, cat can be used for append. Append means adding at the bottom. So if I give the same command, but I use double redirection, that means I am trying to append. See here, this is append, and these lines are appended at the bottom of the file. Control D. So if I do a cat and test, you can see these three lines are added. So you can use the double redirection for append. The cat is very versatile. So again, I'll repeat, cat space will show you the content, and cat single redirection will create the file. Two redirections will append the same file, but you will not be able to edit the file by using the cat command. Fair enough, no problem. So that's the feature. That's not a bug. One thing is that now how can I copy the files? Suppose I intend to copy this file, test file, in the same directory. This is a very simple command, copy. And any point of time you forgot the syntax, help, hyphen help. It shows you source and destination. I have told you earlier also, anything which is in the right braces are optional, but anything which is outside the braces are mandatory. So I need to specify the source and the destination. So in my case, the source is the test file and destination is a copied file, anything. So what will happen? It will copy the test file into one more file named copied file. So there will be two files now. Copied files of the same size and the same content, as well as the test file, the original file. So if I do a cat of copied file and I do a cat of test file, obviously they will be the same. It's how you copy the files. Copy. How can I create, or how can I rename a file? So rename is as good as cut paste. So you use the move command, mv. So I give copied file, I say test file 2, anything. So this file will be renamed as test file 2. The copied file is gone. Move. Old name, new name. Very simple. How can I create a directory? Very simple. mkdir is the command. You can write hyphen help. Again, make it a habit of giving it. So this is it. Again, at least one directory name is mandatory. Other things are optional, like parent, modes, all those things. If you remember, I'd used this -p in the previous class for creating multiple directories, one inside other. So that means it's a parent directory. Okay, let me create a directory here, say data. So there it is, a data is there. Okay, so now let me copy one file, the test file, inside the data directory. How can I move inside the data directory? Very simple, cd, change directory, and then the name. Because I am in the directory which contains the data, I can start from just write the name data. So if you see there, here also it's changed, the name has changed, and if you give the pwd command, it shows you that you are inside root data. You are no more inside your home directory. You are inside some other folder. And one very kind of a shortcut here. any point of time you want to go back to your home directory. One is cd space double dot, one step backward. See, it's again your tilde comes again. That means you are in your home directory. So, and again you want to go back, go here. So here. Now suppose I don't have any files here. So let me create one file here, or I can copy the file, and anywhere you are, if you just press cd and press enter, machine will automatically take you into your home directory no matter in which location you are. So if I do a ll here and I do a copy of test file and test file.txt, I give data. Now if you see there is a trailing slash here. That means it's not a file, it's a folder. It's a folder that you are trying to move into, or sorry, copy into. I just press enter here, job done. So if I go and show you this content ll of data, you can see the test file there, and I'll show you like this also. The test file is copied here and it has got the same contents. I can create one more directory here, say mkdirparent, anything. So I've got one more subdirectory there. Okay, I can move cd data. Now if you see there, it's root data and then data. Okay, how can I come back to my home directory? Very simple, cd enter. Remember this small hack. Anywhere you are, just press cd enter, type cd enter, you will be directly jumped into your home directory. Now like your TV remote has got a swap channel button, you press that button and you will be jumped to the previous channel where you are. In the same manner, I have got a cd hyphen. It will take me to the last directory where I was. See, again I press cd hyphen home, cd hyphen. So it will keep on hopping me between two locations. So that makes my job much more easier if I have to switch between two directories frequently. cd hyphen. Now I am in data, and this is the, when you give the pwd, whatever path is coming, we call it absolute path. And look, there are two ways I can go inside data. One is I can just write cd data. So if I use this path from where I am currently, we call it relative path, relative to where you are. So it's same, fine, I am here. But if I go to Tata's, wait, and I use this path to navigate, starting from the slash top level directory, that means I'm using the absolute path. See here I am. So if I use cd data data, so that means I'm using relative path. I'm using the path from where I am currently. Fair enough. But if I use cd root data, the same, the whole absolute path, that means I'm trying to use, or I'm using absolute path to navigate. So which one is best? It's nothing like bad or best or like second. I personally feel more comfortable and more secure copying the files or moving the files using the absolute path, not the relative path. So it's up to you which method you use. Okay, so in this way you can copy the files using either the absolute path or the relative path. You can copy multiple files also. I'll show you one simple example. Say I went to my home directory. I say copy anaconda and say test file.txt to data. Because that file is already there, it's asking me, so I just do a control C. Any point of time you want to cancel that program or cancel that application or cancel that command that you are trying to execute, just write control C. So I'll just use a different file, anaconda-case.cfg and test2 to data. So I'm copying two files here. See, anaconda was overwritten as the file was already there. I go to data, see, anaconda and the test2. So I can copy multiple files. you can create a whole tree of the directories using the mkdir-p or the parent option. I'll show this. If I do a mkdir-p, say give any name, say SATA and Tata and Bata, anything. What happens is that it creates a directory SATA. Inside this SATA, the Tata is created, and inside the Tata, Bata is created. So a whole tree will be created. And there is a very interesting command, tree, which you can use. It's not found because the tree command in RHEL 7 is by default not installed. So we have the yum already configured. For this reason, I'll do a yum install tree, and if I give a tree command, you will see the whole directory structure coming up in a tree format. So that makes the understanding of your directory structure much more simpler and much more clearer. How to remove a file? rm, I say test file. It will prompt you for confirmation. Okay, fine, I say yes because I'm root. I'll show you one very interesting thing. Now if I go to Alok, now I'm as Alok, I create a file, cat Alok file. This is the file created by Alok, control D. Now if Alok is trying to remove it, there is no confirmation. Whereas when I was trying to remove it with root, it has prompted me for the confirmation. Why this is so? This is because Alok is a normal user. If I give an alias command here, you won't find any alias for remove rm. So Alok has got, by default, Alok is only able or is allowed to remove the files to which he is the owner. He cannot remove any other file, but root is super user. So if I give an alias in root, you will find rm is equal to rm-i. So that means if you execute rm, the system will automatically execute rm-i. -i means interactive, will prompt you for the confirmation. So because root can by accident can delete any important file. So that's why whenever you will try to remove any file from root user account as root, you will be prompted for the confirmation. And in case you want to remove this whole directory tree, so one way is you can remove one by one, but it can take a lot of time. You can use rm-rf, very dangerous command. You have to be very careful while executing this command, that you should not be executing this command on any system directory. Otherwise your system will be unstable, right? Okay, so I will rm-rf, sorry, it is rm. Oh, sorry, let me give it like this. So no confirmation, nothing, and the whole data is removed, right? So but you have to be very careful that you should not be executing this command on any system files or system folder. So rm-rf is very dangerous. So these basic commands like copy command, move command, remove command, create a directory, remove a directory, move a folder, or like a directory, you can use these basic commands you should be comfortable with. One very interesting command is the touch. See here, if I say touch, let me create a file first. So cat hello.txt, this is one file. Okay, this is hello.txt. If I do a touch of say yellow.txt, you see here I don't have a file here, yellow.txt. What it does, the touch command will create a blank file. See, the size is 0, blank file. If I do a cat yellow.txt, it's nothing. The touch command, if the file doesn't exist, I'll repeat again, if the file doesn't exist, the touch will just create a blank file with that name. But what if the file exists? Like I have got a hello.txt, it has got contents also. So what will happen if I give a touch on hello? You might think that it will remove the contents, as the primary behavior of the touch is that it creates a file with a zero size with no contents. So let me check the date. It's 1742. Okay, if I give touch hello and give a ll here, the contents I suppose is already there. Yeah. So what it has done, if the file already exists, the touch will merely change the timestamp. See 41, 42. But if the file doesn't exist, it will create a blank file. So that's the behavior of touch. So make sure you understand these small things: copying the files, creating the files, moving. So these are, and navigating between different directories using the cd command. So I can move here, like suppose I give cd etc sysconfig network scripts. I can go here, I can see a lot of things. Then any point of time I want to go back, cd enter, it will directly take me into my home directory. So that's the beauty. Now once we understood all these things, let's try to understand the redirection, standard input output and error redirection is what the next topic is. It's very easy stuff. Just remember that by default your standard input is the keyboard. You write the input on the keyboard, and by default your standard output is the screen. Whatever command you give, whether it's a right command or a wrong command, the output is coming on the screen, or the error will be thrown up on the screen. So standard input is the keyboard and the standard output is the screen. This is how your machine behaves. The standard input is the keyboard and the standard output is the screen, and the standard error is screen. But we have the flexibility or the facility to redirect the output. If I give this command ll, okay, I'll give you one simple thing. Say cat hello, it will show me the output. If I give cat, for creating the file I give this symbol greater than. If I give this, so you should I actually learn it like this. It's a very simple way. This is a crocodile. So what crocodile is eating? It's on the this size. This way his mouth is open. So he is eating this and giving it the output here. So crocodile is eating hello.txt and giving the output to the cat command. So it does the same thing. So hello.txt is actually redirected using the cat command. This is again a redirection. So if I give this command ll, it shows me on the screen. But if I give this ll and say my dir, can you imagine what will happen? Yes, it will create a file my dir with the output of the ll command. It will not show anything on the screen, but if I give a ll now, you will see there is a my dir file coming up, and if I do a cat of my dir, it's the same contents. You have just redirected the output of a command to a file. This is your output redirection. So they had been assigned a number. The standard input is being assigned number 0. Standard output is assigned a number 1, which is the default one. You need not to specify that. And standard error is 2. So even this command or this command, it's same, because the output number is 1, which is by default, need not to specify. Okay, now if I do this, ll is, I have intentionally make it wrong, right? I say 1 to my dir and 2 my error. Can you expect the output? What I am saying, if 1 means standard output, if the command is right, then send the output to the file mydir. But if 2 is the number for error, if in case the command is wrong, create a file myerror and the error should be there in the file. So you will see there is a myerror file coming up here, and no surprise, this time mydir is 0 because the command was wrong, and the error which was to be thrown on the screen is actually stored in the file myerror. Same output. You can redirect these things. So these things are normally used by the log files. Whenever you start a service, stop a service, these things are stored automatically by the log files. So if, like the error or the success, they are all stored here. I can create one file which will be storing both the things. Even I can do that. Say I give like this, ll is showing me the current output. I give ll, and then I want to redirect both the things, error as well as the output, right? So I give this 2 time redirection, say my dir, and I say 2, and the background I say 1, both. So it will have my dir file with the contents. Now if I intentionally create an error here, lli, so even that will be appended. Now I am appending it. See this symbol, it is append. I'm appending both error as well as the output in the same file. See this, even the error is coming up here. So any command, it's how the log files behaves, or the log files get themselves populated. So if I repeat the same command, just give anything, say cal. So this will have this output, my dir, cal. I give the same command, I just keep on changing the command, say df-h. So cal my dir, sorry, cat my dir, this is the df-h. So everything, both the errors. So if I do some mistake here, ff, so even the error will be appended there, dff command not found. And any point of time you want to recollect whatever you had learned, just write history. You will get all the commands. This is all I had explained you. The basic operations with the file standard input output redirection. You can also create the pipes. Redirection can also be controlled, the channel or how the command will behave. I'll show you one very simple example. If I give a command ll redirected anything, I have a file here redirected which contains all these things. If I give cat redirected and I give sort, so I have typed the pipe. So you see here it's being sorted on the basis of alphabetically sorted, d, all the d coming up first. It's the output is sorted. So what I had done, cat, consider it as a pipe, like a normal pipe that the plumber uses. So one side it is input is coming from the cat, and the output of the cat redirected is the input for the sort command. So sort is finally throwing you the output in a sorted manner. You can use the pipes to redirect the outputs or to have such like certain actions applied on. Say I here give word count, so it shows me how many lines are there, how many words are there, and how many characters are there. Or you can again give a T pipe can be created, say redirected to. So it's a T pipe. The output will be going to 2 locations. So it's coming up on the screen, as well as you see there one file will be created automatically redirected to, which will be storing the sorted output. See, so a basic knowledge of output input redirection is very much required. You might be using it not now, but might be in later classes or in real use case scenarios. So you should have this much of basic knowledge at the end of this class. In the next class, we will be talking about user management and permission management, how to create user accounts, groups, and the permissions. Creating user accounts, creating groups, and then assign different permission to different groups. That we will be doing in the next class. See you again then in the next class. Till then, bye bye. Take care.